Is another wonderful Wednesday night sports delight because this is ladies' night. Oh, and shout out to our favorite viewer. Hi, Miss Williams.
Miss Williams.
Brought to you by none other than Smoooth.
That's whenever you see Joanne, not Joe.
Oh, the alter ego.
Now.
Look, I would have had this on if I had known it was going to be that kind of party, but apparently.
I mean, and that's just my one excuse to look silly on the sidelines, and I'm totally okay with it because I'm doing my job.
All right, Coach Willis. Well, speaking of
football fans, you got the Swifties that are all about football, and Travis Kelce's Instagram, I think his followers went up 300,000+.
Tell y'all, when you get on this show on the Ladies Night, boy, I tell you, you are bringing people's careers to a whole nother level. I'm telling you. So here.
Everyone, welcome to the Platform Sports Talk Show. It's your girl, Buddy. I'm glad y'all are here to join us for another wonderful evening.
And want the teams that want you back, St. Louis. I want that football.
I was like, well, Brandon, does Michelle Smallman text you at 11:45 at night?
Let them know, right? No matter the time, it came through, right?
Yes, I thought that was really dope.
She seems to cause a buzz because you know what? Bad publicity, good publicity, they're talking about it.
So for some of these guys, they're like, even if I do win, it's not going to be enough for some people. So why don't I just go ahead and get the money?
Living the dream. I think all the time. I'm a dream catcher, right? So I chased the dream and I caught it.
Because I took this crazy leap of faith in May of 2011 at 23 years old to buy a basketball team. And everyone thought I had lost my mind.
Just kind of shed light, like, women coaches, like, hey, we bring it too. we bring it. Hey everybody, happy Wednesday, happy ladies night. We are back and the weather is a little spicier than last Wednesday or even the Wednesday before that, but I'm still out in the garage. We got a special episode tonight with some great guests on as well. Later on we'll have some of our other panelists join us, but it is September 4th, the first Wednesday of the month, and you guys know that means it is ladies night. And I'm going to hold things down at first for a little bit until Bunny gets settled in at the house. But yeah, so before I welcome in our guest, I'm going to go ahead and just do all the promotional stuff. This is the Platform Sports Talk Show. Again, this is the ladies' night. The first Wednesday of every month. Every Wednesday in between is going to be just a Platform Sports Talk Show. You can go ahead and find us if you want to shoot us an email at platformsportstalkshow@gmail.com, on Instagram at Platform Sports Talk Show, Facebook, on X, formerly known as Twitter, on YouTube, the Platform Sports Talk Show, and make sure you subscribe and click on that bell because anytime we go live, you will be notified. Also, you can find us on Roku and Hot 365, and then I said, the first Wednesday of the month is Ladies' Night. The last Wednesday of the month, last week, was the Man Cave. And obviously with football coming around, T-Bone and Stan and Sidall, they be going at it. So that's going to be every last Wednesday of the month, the Man Cave. But and then, Hot 365 Radio. You can find them on Twitch as well, hot365radio.com, and you can find everything, just the normal show, Ladies Night, Man Cave. You can find us everywhere these days. And then, like I said, we're going to have a special show tonight, and it's not weird, maybe a coincidence because football starts up tomorrow, actually, the NFL. But we do have a takeover. The STL SLAM takeover. And I'm excited about this because I always get excited about, obviously I know football, I know women play football, but I don't know about it. I want to learn about it. And so these are some of my favorite shows, just learning about this. So I want to go ahead and bring in our special guest for tonight. We got Keyonna Smith, and we have Tamikka. Sorry, Tamikka, I don't have your last name.
It's Brents, but it's fine.
Okay, all right. We'll just go with Tamikka. But hello, ladies. Welcome to Ladies' Night on the Platform Sports Talk Show, and we're happy to have you on.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Yeah, so this is exciting because obviously, like we talked about before the show, we all know Annie quite well, and she talks about the slam a lot. So this is going to be exciting. Before we get into football talk, tell me about you guys. I want to know about you guys because we're going to talk about sports regardless. So tell me some things.
I'll let Meek go first. It might be a shorter story.
That's a loaded question, though. What you want to know? No,
I don't know. So some interesting things. I don't know, not sports related, or how did you get into? I'll do this. This will be sports related. What made you fall in love with sports? We usually ask all of our guests this, and why choose football?
I just love sports. Like since I was a little kid, I always wanted to play football. Both my older brothers and my dad and all the males in my family played football, and I always wanted to play. I never had a chance to. I started fighting right after high school, and I came here in 2019, and my wife actually found the slam, and I was like, "Oh, they play football. Let me go ahead and go to one of these practices," and then that was it. That was it, and I'm hooked. I'm not leaving until these knees break off and they can't put them back on.
And now you said you came here, so are you not originally from St. Louis or no?
No, I'm from Springfield, Illinois, but just a little drive, hour and a half. Maybe just an hour flat for me, but yeah.
And what about you, Keyonna? What made you fall in love with sports? How did you get in on the football side of things?
Sports for me has always been speed centered. So I was a little girl that loved to race and beat everybody on the blacktop, boy or girl, man or woman. And that kind of just translated into a life and career in track from middle school, took me through college. And to be honest, early on when I was a kid and like there was like, blacktop football going on, it was just my thing. Like I loved to run and catch. I loved being the secret weapon that like guys would be like, oh, I guess I'll choose the girl last. Knowing that I had speed and could catch the ball. And then, graduated from college and honestly went to go look for some competitive flag. And that took me to essentially finding the tackle league and getting to slam. And I've been a part of slam since 2011.
See, I never knew until Annie that this was a thing even. And you're saying this was happening back in 2011. I was in high school still. Sorry. I'm sorry. I like to give Fred and everyone else crap because me and State on the show, we're the babies of the crew. But so was this because my high school at least didn't have anything football related for girls to play. So did your guys' high schools have any type of football? I did the powder puff game, junior, senior year, but that's just girly flag football. Who cares about that? But yeah, like, I don't know. Like, were you guys able to do anything like this in high school or like on the side, I guess?
Hell no.
I know. See, that's what I was
Hell
like. You don't.
no.
Yeah. Okay.
The thing.
So okay. So here's the story. My freshman year in high school, there was this chick, and she was badass, and she was on the line. Okay, offensive line, defensive line. I couldn't tell you back then because I didn't know the difference, right? But I knew that she was on the line, and it was crazy that she was on the actual freshman tackle team for our school. And they didn't let her go past the freshman team, which we were all like, of course. But she ended up like going on to be like Miss Webster Groves too, which was really really cool. But there was like that one blip when I was a kid, and now it feels like there's at least one girl every other high school that's playing on the tackle team.
Oh, that's awesome. I know, like, 'cause I went to a small school in Lime, and they were trying to take, because I played softball, they wanted to take away our softball team, and so I was kind of like, well, can I play on the boys team? You know, it never happened because we kept our softball team, but it's sad that that's what it comes to sometimes with girls sports in high school is, you know, a threat of losing a team and you possibly begging to be able to play with the guys. Because believe it or not, we can hold up with the guys in some sports.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, how does that work though? So if there wasn't anything in like high school for you guys to play, how, I don't know, like how do you just go into college or just after that and then you find flag, you know, you said flag football earlier. Was it like super competitive? And like, I don't know, how do you go about finding this?
So my biggest thing is that football has always been a bit of I don't know. Some people call it an addiction. I don't know. That's a little strong, but I haven't been able to walk past football too well in my life. So really, anytime there's a pickup game going on in the park and I have free time, like I have to stop. And that's kind of how I found the flag team when I was living where I was living back then. It was in Florida, and just it was actually a guys team, and they were a part of a men's league that eventually turned co-ed because essentially me and another teammate of mine wouldn't go away. So yeah, I mean, I've honestly joined a handful of teams by just walking past the park and asking to play. So that just kind of toppled over into finding slam and honestly trying to find more and more competitive teams. Like no one gets it until they are exposed to or truly get bit by like the competitive football bug. And after that, it's kind of a chase to find the right teammates to play the right type of football.
What about you, Tamikka?
I was always, what my mama would say, I was always such a damn tomboy. So anything, I was always with the boys. I was always with my brother. In high school, he used to run pickup football games on the weekend, and it was tackle, but we didn't have any pads. And I'd be like, bet, I'm going. And so I'd go do that. Like, I went to the military and we did basically the same exact thing. I split my head open, there was blood dripping down, and like I'm still running and doing stuff till they caught us and we weren't allowed to do that no more. But other than that, like any kind of contact sport, I was getting in it. And like you said, like in high school, like I played volleyball, right? I did track, I did softball, played soccer, and like soccer was probably my favorite sport because like I could get away with being a little more physical. So it was really just all of that, and just basically finding the slam and finding everything here was just happenstance and just looking up stuff and checking the algorithm. Basically, Instagram threw that across my way and my wife's way, and that was it. So we just took it there, and yeah, if it's violent, I'm gonna be a part of it, legally.
Legally. Well, you said in the military, so thank you for your service.
I ain't do nothing.
Hey, you're still in the military, so you did more than what I did. And then does your wife play or no, or is she just a fan?
No, she is our hydration specialist.
Okay.
But she just, we do have a flag team. It's my first year on the flag team, or playing flag at all. But she's actually playing flag this season. We just had a tournament this past weekend, and so that was fun. She got knocked down and she popped back up. She don't care either. But we can't both play on the tackle team because I'll get kicked out. I just can't do it.
Why? Because like if someone destroys her, you'd be pissed off, or
Oh yeah, I ain't gonna make it, and neither are they. Somebody getting got. I'm gonna get mine.
No, I get it. I get it. I want to try to save some slam questions for when Bunny gets on the show. So, other sports, I know you said you pretty much play just about everything there was in high school. Keyonna, did you play anything else in high school or like middle school growing up?
Ran track. Track took me from middle school through college. Played basketball through all through high school. A little bit of softball in high school during the off season, and believe it or not, a little bit of cross country, even though it was terrible.
You know, we've had a couple people on this show that run for fun. I just don't get it.
Something's wrong with them. Something's wrong with them. You know, it's okay. It takes all types, but something's wrong with them.
Yeah, I try to do the least amount of running as possible. Possible. I can't stand it. And my knees. I'm younger than you guys, but I was a catcher and my knees are done so no more for me. I gotta ask Tamikka, I know you were kind of close to Missouri, but are you a Cubs fan?
No, I don't really pay attention to baseball.
Are you a Blackhawks fan?
I've heard of them.
Oh, okay. Oh, you've heard of them. Oh man. Okay. So we're cool then. You're
Who's
not
purple?
a Chicago sports fan.
Who's purple?
Who's purple? I like purple. That's a good color. Is there a team for that?
The Vikings are purple.
Oh no, not them.
It's no purple baseball teams or hockey teams I can think off the top of my head. Oh Lord. All right, Keyonna, are you from around St. Louis? I know you mentioned Florida.
Yeah, I'm from St. Louis.
Okay. So how you taking the Cardinals?
I mean, you know what? Dynasties have their moments, you know.
Girl has not been a dynasty for a long time.
But I mean, like as a franchise, they're a dynasty, right? Like not every franchise is like, oh man, remember when they won multiple World Series? Like, and so like, you know, they've had a couple, they're usually a threat, and there are peaks and valleys, and it's just a real deep valley.
Yeah, it hasn't been too pretty, but ever since we had our eulogy episode on the Platform Sports Talk Show, it was very serious. They've been playing some decent baseball, so go figure, right?
Should have done the show earlier.
I know, we should have done the eulogy at the All-Star break or something.
Yeah, it's all your fault.
I blame the producer. And real quick, before we continue, I want to say hi to Miss Dubs. Miss Williams, she said hi to all of us. She is our every week listener, no matter who is on the show, whatnot. So, hello, Miss Dub. Welcome to Wednesday. And then, so I'm just going to start talking more slam because I am curious. Like I said in the intro, I just want to know everything about this because I'm not familiar with it. You know, the UFL or XFL, whatever the heck it's called now, those rules are different than the NFL. The NFL and college football is different. So, what's some crazy different rules that are going on with slam? What is your guys' league called?
So the league is the Women's Football Alliance. So
Okay.
WFA. I don't know. More questions about the WFA? I guess okay. So the WFA itself is around 60 teams, give or take, every year over the nation. So there are obviously states with multiple teams, and yeah, we all travel around and play around 3 home and 3 away games every single year.
That is a lot of teams. So before we continue, because that intrigues me just by itself, I'm going to go ahead and bring some other people on. We have Annie with us and your guys' head coach, Quincy Davis.
Hey, I know those folks.
Good evening.
Hello, Coach. Hey, Annie. Oh, she's just going to wave.
I wasn't sure if you wanted me to like jump in and say anything or if it was like, let me hang back. So, hey, everybody. And hello to all of my friends and family who are watching, who are just excited not only to talk football, but are waiting to dive into later topics about the NFL so that they can get their Steelers takes off. So be looking forward to that too.
And then Coach and Annie, I was just asking because I don't know anything about the Women's Football Alliance, I think you said. So she said there's 60 teams. That is a lot of teams. That is wild.
Women's football is growing. It's not even the only women's football league in the country, but I do think we are the largest. 60 plus teams across the country. There's only one in St. Louis, obviously, but I think we may be the only one in Missouri now. There was a Kansas City team, but the Kansas City team has moved on to one of the other leagues. But yeah, women's football it's growing. It's becoming a thing. It's becoming a staple.
That's awesome. And then Keyonna, you were saying so how you were saying it, is there only 6 games all year? Or because you said 3 and then you travel for 3? You're muted, sorry.
So yeah, that's the regular season. And those that have earned the right essentially to be seeded in the playoffs compete usually around 3 to 2 games through the championship. So if you are one of the championship teams, then more than likely you're playing around 10 or so games to get there.
And then what's the furthest you have to travel? Tamikka doesn't like that question.
Well, no, it's so what the league tries to do. It's been around for a while. They've taken some constructive feedback over the years. So essentially, what the WFA is trying to do now, they have basically like 3 tiers of competition. So almost like if you think collegiate sports, you got D1, D2, D3, that kind of deal. So they've kind of tried to do that because some of the more seasoned, more established women's football teams usually tend to be significantly better than the ones that are just starting off. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for a team that's been around for 10 years to play a rookie team that only has 15 players on it. So to that end, the league is reduced the regular season schedule from what was 8 games. They reduced it to 6 games so that you have more like for like competition. We play in the highest division, so Division 1. So most of our games are us playing against other Division 1 teams. So there may be teams that are closer, but they may not be the same caliber of team that we are. So we don't always just take the shortest trip. That's how the formula used to work. Teams were just, placed with, whoever was closest to them and they played them. So the problem with that was you may have a really good team who's playing all, I won't say bad teams, but all less developed teams. So then when they got to the playoffs and they played another good team, they didn't make it quite as far. And you may have a team like, like Boston, Boston Renegades, who have been the perennial, champions, until this year. They are close enough where they can play good teams from New York, from Tampa, from, DC, people, on that East Coast, and kind of always know exactly where they are as they roll into the playoffs. So it's six games regular season. The league's intent there is to keep the competition good for whatever level that particular team is in without asking them to travel, all over the country just to have that competition. So initially we were kind of, I won't say pissy, but we were disappointed that the number of games per season was being reduced. But in hindsight now, after having done it for these 2 years, I think we prefer this. I think we prefer playing good teams, good competition, good football, and getting ourselves ready for, playoff and championship runs, as opposed to, just going to beat up on somebody that, we really shouldn't even be playing in the first place just because we're that much better than them.
Tamikka, you looked like you wanted to say something when I asked that question, though.
Oh no, that's just my face that I make when I hear Boston.
Oh, okay. I don't like Boston either. The only thing I like in Boston is Jason Tatum. Annie knows that. Smooth knows that. All of our listeners know that. Love me some Jason Tatum. So I also want to know, so like I was mentioning as well, as rules. Like, are rules extremely different? You know, like there's so many different rules going on in all the different types of football leagues. So is there anything that like stands out that like if I were to go to a game, I'll be like, what the heck is that?
No, I think our rule set's NCAA, right? So
Yep.
it's if you watch college football, then that's what you're gonna watch with us, except for we're way better looking. So
Well, and wasn't there a point in time where we did play NFL rules?
Yeah, there was a time we played NFL rules, but I want to say maybe the last 6 years or so. And I forget when they made the switch, but yeah, it's NCAA rules. Very similar, but yeah, it's NFL, you got to get 2 feet down on a catch before you step out of bounds. Collegiately, you only have to have 1. So they kind of went with that, and they also went with the if you are kneeling when you get the ball. In the NFL, if nobody's touched you, you can get up and keep running. But in college, if you fall to your knee, that's kind of the end of the play. That's the end of the down. So I think they kind of went to that more for just, safety and, being able to definitively say that play is done, as opposed to, somebody flying in with a late hit or something like that. With the players and the teams that we have, we don't want to lose anybody to a stupid injury. It's not like we've got the NFL rosters where we just, we got 2, 3, 4 quarterbacks we can just roll in there when we want to. So I think that was the league's kind of, direction for player safety.
Okay. I think most people prefer college rules anyways, honestly. And then Keyonna and Tamikka, what position you guys play?
I play right guard and defensive end when coach lets me.
I play wide receiver, tight end, corner.
Okay. And Annie, I don't know if I ever asked you this. What did you play when you were there?
I played on the defensive line, so I was defensive end my first 2 years, and then D tackle my last year.
Nice.
And
That's
never
a nice
played on the
number.
offensive line. I know. I knew that
That's
you were
a
number
nice
59.
number.
I was like, that's the one. That's the one. That's the number. No, and I never played on the offensive line. I made sure I messed that up my first day of practice. Like, which way do I go? And then it was like, get off the field. And I was like, thanks. Mission accomplished. So, yeah. In all these pictures, you can see Raven taking all my tackles before I have a chance to get there. That's pretty much what all my defensive photos are, is Raven in Brooklyn getting there before I get there. And so as we talk about the differences between men's professional football and women's professional tackle football, one of the questions that I used to get asked a lot when I played was, so does that mean that you all get paid? And my response is always no. We're often responsible for raising our own resources. So can you talk a little bit about, like, what does it take to actually mount a season? What all are you responsible for? What all do you have to do? Like, give the people the behind the scenes about what exactly it takes for you all to put on a full football season.
I'll let you guys go first.
We were going to let you take that whole question.
We were.
I mean, player perspective, you go and then I'll
So, I mean, from a player perspective, obviously there's the bulk fundraising, right? So there's the amount that we're all responsible for as a team that goes to the collective bill that Q will probably dissect that we have as a team. But outside of that, there's, of course, the equipment costs. We have to pay for our helmets, our shoulder pads, our knee pads, our elbow pads, whatever pads we feel like are best to help us play the game safe. There is paying for whatever health situations come along with it. I mean, fact of the matter is, if you are an aging athlete or a long-term to the wheels fall off athlete like Meek is, you know, you're going to have to figure out how to get ahead of, you know, your recovery regimens or your getting your body ready to go into battle on a regular basis regimen. Your injuries that are going to pop up and the potential, you know, expenditures that come from making sure that you're good. And I don't know about the rest of my teammates, but I eat twice as much during the season. So my food bill definitely goes up. That outside of, again, equipment, cleats, everything is essentially on the players. And that is, again, outside of that kind of bulk, that chunk amount that we are all responsible for as a collective.
Yeah. She's all of that is more than what I would have said. You know, I can speak from the organization's perspective. You know, we have practice facilities, you know, so rentals, like we don't own a field, we don't own a weight room, we don't own a gym, any of that stuff. So wherever we are collectively working out or practicing, that usually comes with a cost. We have to have uniforms. The league doesn't supply us with uniforms. Not that they should, but, you know, they don't supply us with uniforms. So whether we have, you know, 10 people on the roster or 60 or whatever it is, like we're responsible for getting them the same jersey and being a part of the team. You know, we also have to pay for our travel. So we pay attention to who we're playing and proximity and all that kind of stuff. But this year, you know, we had two trips that we had to, that basically like 2-day travels for us. You know, the first one being going to Minnesota, regular season, and then we also went to Dallas, Texas for a regular season. So, you know, easily, you know, both of those trips individually are easily over $5,000. And that's, you know, with the chartered bus, you know, not flying people out, just, you know, cheap, like get everybody on the bus and travel. You know, that's easily over $5,000 for each of those trips. You've got hotels, you've got, you know, you've got, the referees cost money, our trainers, you know, on game day, they cost money. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into this. It's not, you know, it's not like just kind of like a pickup soccer game where all you need is a grass field, the net and the ball, and you're ready to rock. There's a lot that goes into it. I like to think we do it the right way, in that, you know, we're not just throwing people a uniform and a helmet and saying, you know, we're going to let you play in a football game. This is a collision sport, you know, and I tell them that from day one. It's not a contact sport, it's a collision sport. So with those collisions, you know, you're going to put your body through some stuff that it does not go through on a day-to-day basis, and that it's probably never been through if you've never played, you know, a football or rugby type of sport before. You've probably had collisions in basketball, but it wasn't for 3 hours. You know, you probably had collisions in soccer, but it wasn't for 3 hours. You know, football is about, you know, throwing your person into someone or stopping someone from doing something or moving somebody against their will. You know, that's what the game is. And to do all of that, there is training that's involved. There's special equipment that's involved. You know, so all those things that we put into a regular season, you know, especially with the travel, that's kind of the biggest variable every year. You know, running a regular season, not even including playoff travel, regular season runs anywhere from $30,000 to $50,000, depending on where we actually have to travel to. So yeah, it's definitely an ordeal, and why that fundraising is important for everybody to chip in and do their part to cover the cost of the season.
And Joe, I think we have Bunny in the back.
Bring her in before we continue.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi, Bunny.
Hey, late, but not late. So I'm going to slide right on in. Coach Q, question. You may have touched this already. You talked about fundraising. Have you guys been knocking on doors, talking to corporate bigwigs? Hey, sponsor us. Help us grow the game, but not just keep going to other people's pockets. Y'all can sponsor us to be part of the Super Slam, especially we're world champs. Has that taken place? And if so, what's the feedback you've gotten?
Yeah, so we are mounting that offensive now. So what we've run into previously, we've reached out to corporations. We've gotten some initial positive feedback, but then nobody actually pulling the trigger. Most of the support we've gotten so far has been, your small business owner who knows a player and is willing to support them, whether that's a family member, a neighbor, a friend, a coworker, or whatever it is. But we haven't gotten any major corporations to jump on board and be a major sponsor for us yet. One of the things that we're hoping to do, after having talked to some of them last year, we're hoping it was more of a timing thing than anything. We usually have our tryouts September through December, and then we start practices in January. And we have been trying to talk to those corporations, once practices are started, when we have an idea about what our roster is and all that kind of stuff. But in talking with some of them, a lot of the dollars that they may contribute to a cause like this, they usually give that money by the end of December. So we're trying to mount that offensive now, get to them before the year is over, in this last quarter of the year, kind of rolling off this momentum that we have from winning the national championship and seeing if we can get their attention before they decide to spend those dollars someplace else.
Gotcha. And I'm glad you said yes, because I have faith somebody will sponsor you all. Of course, they do it at the end of the year because Uncle Sam, they need their tax write-off. So they open with the checkbooks. But yeah, that's good. It's promising. So I hope the best that you all can have somebody eventually like, yes, we'll take this. Because again, y'all are world champs. So people sleeping on the women's football team, professional league. It's time to wake up, okay? And not just champs one time, not just champs twice. This is big, especially for St. Louis. We're still a little salty, at least some of us, about the professional NFL team that left. So we got to embrace the women's slam team here. Also, let me ask you all this, one of the players. So you guys mentioned about the travel, 6-team schedule, and the travel is not just going 4 hours up the street and stayed over. A lot of hours involved. So, the latest thing on the collegiate side of football, we had those mega conferences. Now you got more teams that have moved to conferences where they're going to be traveling from one coast to the other. How do y'all think that's going to pan out this season for those players dealing with the extensive travel? And do you think the NCAA will eventually change to where they want to allow schools to go from 3-hour time zone change every week for a football game? Any player chime in, doesn't matter.
So I think it depends on what is going to win in whatever case, right? Whether it's going to be the almighty dollar that drives those decisions or not. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to colleges, and, shout out to the educators, at the end of the day, going to college is supposed to be academic based. And fact of the matter is, the further your trips are, the more there's involved, the more moving parts there are involved in facilitating, all of that, whether it's figuring out when to make up classes, figuring out when to make up homework, figuring out how to adjust your already packed sports schedule that is centered around your ongoing, game schedule, how to keep that going. And so all these variables kind of just continuously mount up, and in my brain just kind of drive things further and further away from what feels like a cohesive or academic centered environment. So I guess it depends, like what's driving the decision making in those spaces.
So these are young men, women, because I know people looking at football. I mentioned football because of they're going to be the first group. We could specifically talk about the former teams of the Pac-12. Now that's the Pac-2. And some of those schools went to the Big Ten, which is the Midwest. West Coast and Midwest, a little bit of East Coast. So you got some in the Southwest of the United States. So again, I mentioned time zone travel. You mentioned the logistics. So with all that stirring in a pot, I mean, is there any way besides doing it that an athlete, whether it's football, gymnastics, lacrosse, baseball, anything that they can do to prepare to do an extensive travel? Like, what have you all done that you see that works that you can pass on to a young athlete?
I think just getting ahead. Like if you're just getting there, it's like you getting there on time, you're late type of thing. If you get ahead and you're on top of it, oh, I got something to do this Friday and today's Monday. I can't wait until Thursday to do it, or I don't have that time. I don't have that luxury because I'll be at practice or I'll be traveling or I'll trying to get as much sleep that I need to physically and mentally function in whatever sport I'm in. So I think the biggest thing is even like as young as middle school. I mean, you got these middle school kids that are on AAU teams and all these competitive teams, competitive track teams and everything like that. They got to be on top of their game and they got to be ahead. I think getting ahead of the game and especially academically. And if y'all's parents was like my parents, if y'all academics wasn't right, you was one, you was getting the whooping, and two, you wasn't playing no matter if you was eligible or not.
Ooh, child. Now she said a whooping. Ooh.
Well, I'll piggyback on that. Just like exactly what Meek said, and in my brain, it really comes down to making sure you have your routines, right? Obviously, making sure you are taking care of that routine in the right time and space to not be on time, like she said, but be early. But knowing your routine, making sure that you include the right things in that routine along the way, and then honestly, the biggest and most important characteristic in that is to be flexible in your routine, because there's always something that's going to go wrong. So again, just being like certain and clear about what you need to be successful, getting ahead of making sure that you have access to or exposure to those things in the right periods of time, and being able to adjust on the fly, because life is always going to throw you curveballs.
Bring up Chitara. Am I pronouncing her name correctly? Chitara Wilson. She said time management is essential for sure. Listen, please tell young folks it doesn't stop with time management. I mean, I'm not even gonna tell you when we have new people come to the company and then they, ooh, child. I don't know, the discipline for everybody is different, as you brought up earlier to me, because you parents threaten you with a whooping or anything but discipline. No, that's what it boils down to. But yeah, time management. I don't know, everybody's a different generation, but it's not easy, but you got to make it work. Because anything you want, you're going to go after. So if you want your playing time, if you want, the first seat on the bus, if you don't want to have to do something else because you were there late, then you'll be there on time. You're going to find a way, as long as you can drive, right? So thank you for mentioning it. Not just everybody on Blair, I know our parents too, it got real. That's what's
she was there a couple times.
Key, you had mentioned that there's lots of responsibilities that the collegiate players have and class and those sorts of things. Can you talk about the other responsibilities of the women who play in the WFA? We're not getting paid, or not me anymore. Y'all aren't getting paid to play. And working full-time jobs, being full-time parents and caregivers. Can you bring a little bit of the human perspective to what all the women are doing outside of the hours and hours of practice and traveling that they're also handling?
Get it, Q.
I'm laughing at how you stuttered, thinking about all the things that you have to do on a weekly basis. I'll get it started. I'm a coach, so I'm gonna have a different perspective. I know I see a lot of what they do, but I don't pretend for a moment to believe I see everything that they're doing or having to put up with. But when you're trying to make that comparison with college athletes, college athletes who are playing sports, you have your walk-ons, but a good portion of them, if we're talking like Division I athletics, scholarships exist for a reason. right? They exist because trying to go to class and play sports and be effective and dominant in them takes a lot of time that it gets taken away from some of this other things like working or other responsibilities outside of going to class and playing my sport. None of our players are on scholarship, so they are playing, they are doing all the things that they're being asked to do to be not only good at their sport, but dominant at their sport. And a lot of times, like, this isn't a sport that they've been playing for, all their lives. College athletes, they've usually been playing since they've been in elementary school, junior high, yada, yada, yada. The majority of the players that we get, their first time playing football is with us. So we're having to teach from the ground up, so you've got a person who's juggling a full-time job. They're juggling the ins and outs of what is this sport? What is this position? What is this terminology? What is this exercise? What is this lift that you're making me do? They're trying to process all of this stuff. They practice in the evenings. So unlike collegiate athletes where they get to practice in the afternoon and then they get to go eat dinner and then they can relax and, do work the rest of the night, our folks are working full-time jobs and then coming to practice and then getting through practice and then not getting out of practice until, 9:00 at night. And then they still have to put on their mom hat. They still have to put on their parent hat. They still have to put on their caregiver hat, and rinse, repeat, and be ready to turn around and still be functional the following day at work. So it's definitely apples to oranges, as far as that comparison. I feel like our players, the ones who stick and stay with it, they know I do what I can for them, whether that's lend an ear or, if they need a supportive message or my perspective or something, I provide that, just understanding that the sacrifices that they make are no less than what college athletes make. And in a lot of instances, I would say they sacrifice more to play this sport, especially when there's no potential reward of a professional contract at the end of it. They are here strictly for the love of the game, and they are consciously deciding to make these sacrifices to be a part of it. So in that respect, there's a lot that goes into it outside of just learning the X's and O's, juggling, teammate personalities, juggling how family members might feel about them playing football because it's taking time away from something else that those family members might prefer that they be doing. There's a lot that goes into it for each person. So anybody that's able to stick around and stay with it, obviously, they're sacrificing a lot. They have my utmost respect. They get that in the way that I coach and the way that I treat them as people, not just football players.
Cool. Coach Q, you just mentioned something. I'm not trying to start a pot, so I'm going to throw this to Tamikka. He mentioned about personalities. I'm like, ooh, remind me of team chemistry. But then dealing with ladies, because I've been a teammate before. Ooh, child. So, Tamikka, how do you deal with team chemistry, especially if somebody, we on the field together, but outside the field is like, ooh wee. So how did you hone all that in? And I'm gonna ask Coach later, how did he deal with that when he got people telling him different stuff about his players?
I don't know. It might be different. I think it is different for people who've played sports their whole lives. So you've dealt with that. You've dealt with being on a team with somebody you don't like or you don't mesh with or whatever. And especially like at a young age, you're like, yeah, I don't like them, blah, blah. But then you just mature and you just learn how to deal with it. And like our motto is do what's best for the team. And so we put all our differences aside. I mean, we bump heads, don't get me wrong. Like we bump heads sometimes, but I mean, it is what it is, but it's never out of like spite or hate or anything like that. It's just sometimes you don't mesh well with another person. But I mean, me personally, everyone loves me, so I can't relate.
Okay.
Can I just say, everyone usually loves UFC fighters. So, for a reason.
Okay. That's funny. Well, Miss Keyonna, what's your 2 cents on that?
What's the question? I have autism. You gotta.
I said with the chemistry, I'm not trying to stir the pot, but you know, with women, personalities, everybody's gonna be different. On the field, we worry, we fighting out together, but as soon as we get off that field, it's like, man, self-control has to kick in a lot. I mean, I've been a teammate of women too, so at least I was much younger, but just, you know, the personality. So how do you deal with it and your self-control, or do you have a method like, man, once we got this field, don't talk to me until we get on the bus, ready to go to the game? Is it like that?
You know, I think that's accidentally part of my method. You know, as I mentioned, I have a bit of the autism, so and Coach can attest for this. When I am checked into football, I'm checked into football. It took a little bit of time for me to figure out how to both be social and be focused on everything that Q was trying to teach us at the same time. And I figured it out in a way that kind of feels robotic for me, because I'm like compartmentalizing my brain to use most of it to focus on football, but then trying to squeeze out a little bit to make sure I say words to other humans. But that being said, you know, like there are a ton of personalities on the team. And you know, we're grown people that have been through all kinds of things and come from all types of walks of life. So, you know, we've had our share of disagreements. But at the end of the day, the core of the team is strong. What I feel like we are extremely blessed and like kind of unique to have is a core group of people that are truly competitive. And truly have each other's back when it comes to making sure that, you know, we are able to put our best foot forward and not have anybody come for us unnecessarily or unfairly. And at the end of the day, you know, when you can lean on that on the field, you know, that's the priority. And then, yeah, off the field, there are personalities that clash or don't really mix, but, you know, that's also reflective of the world that we live in. So it just is what it is. And we keep it moving because, again, we're grown-ass people.
And Chatera said, Brents has always been solid. Okay.
Yeah, just
So,
to
I
piggyback
think
off
not
what
ju-
she said. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Tamikka.
No, I'm just saying, just to piggyback off what Keith said, like we bump heads and everything, like every team will, but it's like the only thing I can compare it to is like, yeah, I'll be talking shit to my sister all day, every day, and Jonah on her 24/7, but you can't do it. You're not allowed to do it. So that's how we roll. Like we'll all butt heads or whatever, but if another team try to mess with my teammates, it's gonna be a problem.
Okay. And what was the last comment that was up there? It says, we are Slamily. We are Slamily. Like Diane Cherie.
That's
Okay.
that's one of our captains. She's singing right now.
Ah, okay.
You can ignore it.
Thank you.
Thank you, TJ.
Coach Q, you keep over there laughing and stuff. So since I don't know any of the players officially on the roster, but you can divulge. Have you ever had a personality that was so on your last good nerves that you had to do something from the team? Has that ever happened?
Nope. I've had players who I could infer early on that they won't make it through the rest of the season. But I've never had to physically remove a person from the team yet. You know, my methodologies, I'll call it unique. It's just the way I do things. Yeah, I'm a firm believer in hard work, and that there is no substitute for that. And so our first month of practices, we get after it. And if you aren't willing to get after it and sweat and hurt and push through it like everybody else, you kind of weed yourself out. So yeah, we've had people who thought they were better than what they really were, or for whatever reason thought they didn't have to work as hard as some other folks. And the problem with that is when everybody's sweating, when everybody's breathing hard, but you aren't willing to go as hard as everybody else, your teammates notice that. I don't have to say anything. The teammates notice it. And, we don't expect everybody to be in shape on day one. That's a given. I promise them, if you make it through tryouts, you make the team, like we will get you in shape, provided you stick with it and do what we're asking you to do. So we have time to do that, but you've got to put the work in. And it's been the minority. It's been the minority of individuals who, for whatever reason, they were unwilling to put in the work or thought themselves better than, well, I don't feel like doing that. Like everybody else is doing it, but I'm going to stand off to the side. You can only do that so many times before, you feel, the eyes and the I'll call it peer pressure, to make yourself better. Like you're here at practice. Like this is what we're here for. Like we're not here to stand around and watch everybody else work hard. So yeah, I haven't had to physically remove anybody. The people who usually make it through that, they at least have the first part of, being a part of the SLAM League, being able to do what's best for the team. It's not about how you feel in this particular moment. It's that your other 40 teammates are all doing the same thing and they're counting on you to be willing to do the same thing with them. So once we get over that hump, the personality, conflicts that happen after that, I can usually live with. If you like cats and she likes dogs, like whatever, like just don't talk about animals, like whatever, like we're running a play right now, focus on what we're doing. It has nothing to do with what we're doing right now. Y'all can talk about that crap or be mad about that stuff later. So I coach from that perspective of, we all put our pants on one leg at a time. We all drink, eat, we all laugh, we all cry. Like there's a whole lot of common ground like we could be focusing on. Stop focusing over this petty stuff. It has nothing to do with what we're trying to do as a team this year. And that usually, is able to get us through practice. I'm not foolish enough to think that everybody loves everybody the same amount in value. I don't think anybody anywhere does that. Parents have favorite kids, but we do try to remember to put the team first. We do try to remember we're here for a reason, that other people are counting on us. And we need to do our part because they're counting on us doing that. And people that buy into that, the personality conflicts, they're much smaller. They diminish in light of what we're trying to do.
Man, Coach, you got me convinced to go out there and try to play for you. I mean, I'm feeling it, seriously. Now, I don't know what position I play besides holding a clipboard on the sideline, but still, I'm playing for you. Just saying. We'll do a quick commercial break, you all. For everybody that's tuning into our show, thank you so much. On the Platform Sports Talk Show, you can reach us at different methods. So first, tune in on Facebook. Make sure if you're under the Platform Sports Talk Show page, leave all comments. If you leave a comment, if you interact with us, we interact with you. Also, we are on IG under the Platform Sports Talk Show page, and on X, formerly known as Twitter, 314 Sports Talk. That's us. And of course, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the Platform Sports Talk Show. And just don't subscribe. I need you to click on that bell, baby. It's broken. Because anytime we go live, you will be notified. And also for all of our listeners via the app or online for High 365 Radio, it's always hot. And even though this is the first Wednesday of the month for Ladies' Night, the last Wednesday of the month, we have the fellas holding it down on the Man Cave. And don't forget, besides the first Wednesday or the last Wednesday, of course, the Platform Sports Talk Show has different topics. We would love for you all to tune in. Please, please, please do not be a stranger to our show. And ladies, I want to throw like a little pivot / different topic. Just curious. Sports movies, right? Y'all got 3 favorite sports movies? And Coach, when you were just talking about, personalities and meshing, I was like, man, could he be like Coach Carter? Or could you talk about the team could be like, Remember the Titans? That's another good one I like. And then I was thinking like, the little hood one, like Above the Rim. So I'm just interested for everybody, including you, Jobo and Annie. What are y'all top 3 sports movies?
Oof, Remember the Titans is definitely up there. Like I watch that at least twice a year, if not more. Um, and then I'm gonna go with because the fighter in me. All the creeds. The creeds are like I watch them. Like if you ask my teammates, like they know I'm watching at least one of them creeds on game day because I gotta get my mind right, just in case I gotta pull it out on somebody on the field. And then the other one, I'll probably go. I don't like baseball like that, but dang, what's the movie Keanu Reeves with the baseball team? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh no.
Was it baseball?
Dang.
I was
Yeah,
thinking
it was baseball, right?
Yeah, it's definitely baseball. I know what you're talking
Dang.
about. And they do this. They do the Biggie Small song
Yes.
to help the kid swing. Gosh dang it, my husband would know this. But it's a good one and a sad one. Hold on, we got a comment to someone. Hardball. There we go.
Hardball, yes. And that soundtrack was crazy. If you didn't mess with Lil Bow Wow back in the day, go to that soundtrack. It's amazing.
And is that Creed in the background? It looks
It is.
like your picture's
Of course.
Creed.
Yeah.
Dang, she
Yeah.
definitely is a Creed fan. I love that. Okay. Those some good picks, Tamikka. Okay, I'm here for it. All right, what about you, Miss Keyonna?
Okay, I was really hoping to be last because I was over here like, can I even name 3 sports movies?
Yes, you can.
Only if I was under threat of someone paying off my student loans. For me, sports only takes over my life like on the field. So like I don't really watch a lot of sports movies. And I guess I love Remember the Titans, of course, but I don't know what else to tell you. Like Rudy was on in the 90s, but I wouldn't call it a favorite. I just would rather play.
Okay, we'll let you pass. What about you, Jobo?
Well, one of my all-time favorite movies is Field of Dreams, so that's number one. Miracle's a good one, and then just for fun, Sandlot, the original Sandlot, though, not the number 2 and number 3.
Okay. I don't think I've seen the second or third Sandlot. All right, what about you, Coach Q?
Any Given Sunday. Vicky just put that in the chat. Yep. Any Given Sunday, definitely up there. I would also say the program. Yep.
What you got celebrity going on here? What is this? You and Luther?
So Luther, he's one of our coaches, and we've had this conversation before. So absolutely, the program is on that list. And then something that's not football related, I would throw Major League in there with Charlie Sheen.
Wild Thing.
Yep.
That's Joe Boo. Look, whoever did the Allstate man doing commercial was back there acting. Let's see. You want to read the comment? Yeah, I'm sorry. I got glasses. Still can't see.
It says, I love the growth I'm seeing in women's football from the young girls to the adult woman. If this hasn't been asked, what was your first intro into the game for each player? Kind of talked about it a little bit before everyone came in with Tamikka and Keyonna. Annie, what about you? Because, again, I know you play football, but I feel like I don't know a lot about you. You're a mystery to me, and I've known you for years.
It's just because she's a Dallas Cowboys fan. That's why she's a mystery to you. That's her downfall. Given.
Yep, that's why. That's why.
If y'all seen this show before, Annie and Bunny go at it with this football stuff.
We really don't.
And the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Bunny brings it up, and Annie sits there. Do you mind if I take it in like a different direction real quick?
Do your thing.
Okay, so Coach, you mentioned about like having favorite children. So I know it's hard to pick a favorite. But was there something particular about this championship that was your favorite of the 5 that the Slam have won, sort of taking down these giants that have been sort of running that division for the last few years? You also won the very first WFA championship. There was the back-to-back years. There was the three-peat with an intermission. You've won a lot of key titles, but is there something about this one that maybe is a little bit of the favorite child?
Yeah. Yeah, that's they're favorites for different reasons. But yeah, at the moment, yeah, this is probably my favorite one. This so much went into this one. So previous championships. We'll start with the first one. With the first championship, we knew we were good. We knew the Michigan team was good. We knew we were going to have to play a good game. It was the culmination of my trying to change like just culture of the team, over the course of that 2 years that I was head coach. So seeing it finish the way we wanted it to, it was, that was the validation that one, I knew what I was talking about, knew what I was doing, and the buy-in from everybody else for believing and seeing what we're all capable of, and we all share a common vision. The next 3 championships, not taking anything away from them, but in those years, like, we knew we were good, we knew we were, we got the team to do it. Let's go out there and just beat the brakes off people, and the people who step up, like we'll put it on them. And I won't call those cocky, but those were more, there was less doubt in those championships. It was more, we know what we're capable of when we focus and we do it. This last championship, just coming off of, us being in that D2 arena, graduating to the pro level, always feeling like we could play in the pro level. It was just a matter of numbers. So us trying to recruit, us trying to get the right roster count so that we had the depth that we needed to compete, long term versus, the teams that we knew were going to have double the roster size that we did. A lot of effort went into that. A lot of effort went into, the training. So for the people that we do have, we had to, I won't say we took a different approach, but I mindfully did some things, these last 2 years that we had not done before, knowing how we wanted our seasons to end and who we were going to have to beat in order to make that happen. And then, I think, making it last year to the championship game, but falling short in a game that nobody felt like we played our best game. This year around, getting to play them being Boston, play them regular season, beat them, knock off their winning streak, let them know we were for real. We hadn't backed down from our loss before. And then to get them again on the same stage in the same place, to have to beat them to be, throned as champions. This one was, it was a little bit sweeter for different reasons, especially considering some of the injuries that we had this year. Injuries to key players, key contributors, people that we were counting on to have big roles this year, and then losing them, and then having to plug and play. And, we've got rookies in there, or people who were just counting on being backups. Now you're the guy, now you're the woman, and them not blinking, I got it, coach, like, just tell me what we need to do. Just seeing that happen. It was different for good reasons. This one's definitely my favorite right now. Just everything that went into the adversity that we had, the execution of the plan from start to finish, from January through July. This one was definitely, I would say, the most special, like, right now in my book. Yeah.
That was awesome. And I don't know how much longer we have you, so I want to get to my last question before we go back to something else potentially. So for Key and Tamikka, what are your favorite coachisms? Because Coach is known for his coachisms. And then for Coach, what is your coachism that you think is applicable off the field as well as on the field? So Key and Tamikka, what's your favorite coachism? Tamikka, you laugh it.
Keep it PG.
I got
Dang. Well, gotta start over.
damn.
Well, I don't know. I don't know
No,
what this
just
airs. But yeah, keep
no,
it PG.
no. I asked earlier, Coach. They said I could cuss, but no. There's so many. We have a list. We have a running list, but I just one that I say like in just like everyday life, like at work, like when we have new hires or something like that. I'll be like, look at that baby learning, because he says that all the time. And I said that to my sons. So I'll be like, look, you found it, didn't you? Look at that baby learning.
That is a very useful one. For
I'm about to say
sure.
that's a good one. I like that.
Key, what's your favorite coachism?
I don't really have a straightforward one. It's not really something he says. It's how he acts, and it's because I thought about like what things that are like from him and his coaching that show up for me on a regular basis in my life. I'm gonna set a scene for y'all. Meek and Annie, you know all about this, but like in the game Saturday night on the sideline, and something's not going right, and he just looks at everything falling apart, on fire, whatever, and he's just like, well, shit. And then he figures out some amazing, ridiculous plan, something specific to the moment, specific to the players, specific to the team that we're playing. And he keeps it moving. He figures out how to get us on the same track. And that has definitely been a thing in my life that has showed up on a regular basis. Like on a regular basis, I look at the things on fire in my life and I say, well, shit. And I allow myself that moment, and then I figure out, I get a plan, and I address the people that are involved and move on. So, yeah, that's my doubt.
And the thing about it is that it's not yelled.
Nope.
Like it's with everything.
Sometimes you won't hear him say it.
Right. The thing is with everything with Coach Q, I've only been yelled at by Coach Q once, and it wasn't me, it was a group yelling. But I love the way that he's just so effective at communicating with you by just like, I said what I said. And you know, because he's never asked you anything ridiculous except for 6 more seconds and one more time, and that's never the right answer. But other than that, he's never lied to you. He's never steered you wrong. He's always had you on track. And so he's like, I don't need to raise my voice at y'all, but I do need you to start wrapping people up. Grab a thigh, grab a something. And it's just like, okay, yep, that's the only tone I needed to hear it in. I got it. I'll grab something, Coach. I promise. I'm a grabber. But I love that his coaching is not yelling and degrading people. He always manages to lift you up while setting you in place. So that's my favorite in terms of approach. In terms of actual sayings, mine is day by day. I have day by day tattooed on my shoulder here that I got when I left St. Louis. And again, I think to Key's point, it's just a general life philosophy. Like, I can only do today. Like, so whatever's going to happen tomorrow or whatever's coming down the pike, that's a tomorrow Annie problem. I just got to take care of the 6 inches of space in front of me, 6 seconds at a time. And so, yeah, I definitely take that with me.
Well, and so many of the players respect Q for his intelligence. And so you have to think about, you know, when he speaks about the game, when he's teaching us about the game, we're learning so much. And so think about a really intelligent, endearing educator than telling you something really serious in a stark tone. It kind of snatches you back into the moment that you or into the mentality that you need to be in. So I think the contrast definitely hits the nail on the head, because there's so much that he teaches us, and he meets us where we are, which is a delicate thing to do, and not an easy thing to do amongst football. And so to go from that to switching on his competitive voice and his "I know you know better" voice is definitely a contrast that sticks out for us.
He's definitely the parent who's like, I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. And you're like, oh no, don't be disappointed in me.
It's the worst.
I'll wrap him up. I promise. I'll control my gap. Please don't be disappointed. But the other thing that I really appreciated, and Key, you kind of touched on this as well, is that the coaching style is not, I'm here to herd a bunch of cats or wrangle a bunch of women. He treats us like football players. And I never, as someone who coaches high school football at a high level, has won state championships with a high school football team, I feel like that's also the coach that I got Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays and Saturdays. And it wasn't, oh, well, I'm going to take it easy on y'all because y'all are women, or, y'all are allowed to have like attitudes or whatever. It's like, no, when you're on this field, you're a football player, and I'm going to treat you like a football player. And I always really respected that as a woman who's played sports. Getting that outside of the team and outside of the field, they're like, you too pretty to be playing sports, or you might break a nail, or do you play in the panty league, or like just all these things about like how if you're going to be feminine, then you shouldn't want to have anything to do with sports. And it was always with coach and with even the captains on the team and the leaders. It's like, no, we're football players. Once we're on this field, we are football players, and we're here to do a job. And I had always appreciated that as well. And also carry with me in terms of like, treat the adults like adults when you're in spaces and leading teams. All right, I filibustered enough. So Coach, what's your favorite of your Q-isms that you think applies both off the field as well as on the field?
I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite. It's, believe it or not, I don't remember half the stuff I say. So when you guys put it on shirts and regurgitate it, I'm usually laughing right along with y'all. I was like, I said that to y'all. No, but I definitely remember some of them, but then some of them for sure, it's like, I don't remember saying that, but I would say it right now. I would. Yes, I would. But I think for me, probably the one that might be most relatable to the general population, I would say you can do anything 6 seconds at a time. And so what that means translated for everybody else, the average football play lasts for 6 seconds. And so, when we are doing conditioning, so when we are doing, we've practiced hard, we're tired, but now it's time to sprint. It's time to do, the conditioning, the keeled over, I'm breathing hard, but we still got to keep running, like all that kind of stuff. Finding the mental fortitude to just keep going, because everybody is counting on you to just keep going. I will remind them, games are won, championships are won 6 seconds at a time. It's not about your total body of work. It's not about your stats. It's not about how many touchdowns you scored. It's not how many passes you caught. It's not how many yards you rushed for. Like, I don't give a shit about your stats. Oops, sorry. I don't care about your stats. I care about what we're doing collectively as a team. So we have 10 people on the field who are all tired, but they can go one more play. Can we count on you being number 11 to also still be able to go one more play? Being able to go 6 seconds at a time, it forces you to focus in the moment. Okay, so it focuses you for, whether we're in first quarter or fourth quarter, it doesn't matter. The ask is the same. 6 seconds at a time. Make your next play your best play. Like, I don't need you to be perfect every play. I just need you to focus on the next one, right? And so what you end up getting, whether you made a mistake or not, the play before, we're on to the next one. Everybody's focused on the next play. Everybody's focused on the next thing. Everybody's focused on the next objective, the next goal for right then. Give me your best effort to make sure we get the outcome that we want there. Once we've achieved that, once we've got that play over with, it's done and over with, cool. We may high five or whatever it is, but we've got another one to do. Let's focus on this one. And so through those series of individual focused efforts, those series of many wins, those series of many victories, they add up to, we won the first quarter. We've won the game. We won the conference. We won the championship. Okay. But it's not just us saying, I want to win a championship, and like letting there be no action or a concrete effort and belief behind it. We break that down. You know, yes, we know what our end goals are. We know what we're trying to strive for. So in your everyday life, yeah, you may know you want to accomplish this promotion. You want to accomplish, you know, whatever end goal that you have for yourself, you know, 6 months from now, a year from now, whatever it is, you know, but between now and then, what are you doing to actually move towards that? You know, and what intervals are you breaking those many victories, those many successes down in, whether that be daily, whether it be hourly, whether that be whatever makes sense for you. You know, are you putting it into tangible, actionable forms where at the end of that, you know, yeah, I won that, or no, I didn't. I need to do better next time. So, you know, that's what 6 seconds at a time means. It's breaking that football game down. It's 3 hours of football, but I don't need you to be perfect every single play. Like, let's focus on the next one. And I think that has, you know, multiple applications for people just outside of football, depending on, you know, whatever they're working on in life.
Absolutely. When you were talking about sports movies, it's so cliche for a character to say of their coach, I would run through a brick wall for them. But that is absolutely true of Coach Q. And I think you all just heard why. And as a player, we get that 3 times a week for months at a time. And so it was really an honor to be a part of the legacy of the Slam and to see current players, to see Coach. And thank you for letting me be a part of this conversation.
Coach Q, if you can't tell, you have gotten not just your flowers, you've gotten a whole rose field, okay? Lots of bouquets of flowers. So shout out to all your teammates and everybody tuning in on the Platform Sports Talk Show to hear great things about Coach Q, what he has done and what he will do in the future. So it sounds like you need to keep doing what you're doing, sir.
Well, thanks. I always, you know, thank my players. I know what I know. But I remind them every week, I'm not the one playing on Saturday nights, right? I'm calling some plays. I'm coaching while we go. But if they aren't the ones that are buying in, if they aren't the ones that are committing to it, if they aren't the ones trusting me and letting me trust them, and we're doing this thing together, like, it doesn't work, you know? So I appreciate my flowers. I appreciate my accolades, but I tell them, you know, I'm proud of them when I am. I don't sugarcoat it. I tell them I love them, you know, and I'm not just blowing smoke. Like, I know what it is. I know exactly what I ask. I know it's probably more demanding of some of the other coaches around the league, but I also try to make sure it's worth their while. And, you know, they can look back on that and say, I am happy that I did that. I am happy that I was a part of it. I had a good time. These were some of the best months and years of my life. You know, it is for me. You know, I'm being able to coach football is always a passion of mine. You know, I coach, I think someone mentioned it, I coach high school football as well. You know, but coaching women's football is different. You know, without the ego, without the, you know, I'm going D1, you know, I'm going pro, you know, nobody has any delusions of grandeur playing women's football. They are out there strictly because they love the game. And it's a joyful place to be. Riddled with a lot of running and a lot of hitting and a lot of conditioning and all that kind of stuff, but it's worth it. You know, it's worth it. So I'm grateful.
Great. Well, thank you all. Again, before y'all leave, all right, can y'all stay while we talk about our other sports topics, or do y'all have to go?
I can stay.
Keyonna,
I have like 5 good minutes.
5 good minutes. Okay.
It's bedtime. Annie brought it up. I got another shift of parenthood to pick up here in a bit.
Girl, I could only imagine. What about you, Coach Q? You got 5 good minutes, or you got to run as well?
I can give you 5. I got 5.
Okay. Well, Annie, I'll let you close it out with them then before we go on to other topics.
The last thing that I want everybody to know about the organization is that it's a nonprofit that also plays football. And so part of the mission of the team is not only winning championships, but also focused on like women and girls and health and nutrition and community building and community service. So can you leave the people with a little bit about what else you do in the community and where people will see you in the meantime, between championships?
Yeah, so now that we've won the championship and we're getting a little bit more support and publicity, we're trying to also, make it easier for people to see us. And the disappointing thing, right or wrong, when we show people who we are, we're wearing our colors or our jerseys or our shirts or whatever, and them saying, "Oh, I didn't even know St. Louis had a team." It's just, it's nobody's fault. But like, yeah, we've been here for a pretty long time, 5 championships, yada yada yada. So we are trying to get some more appearances out there. So participating in shows like this. We've been invited to participate in a few community events. We are going to try to get out and host some of our own. We figured some of the fans would want to meet us, maybe see the trophies, actually see us stand, measure, like, oh, well, she's not that big, or like she is that big, just to kind of meet the team, and try to do some more public appearances over the next couple of months. Pop up on a couple high school football games. We'll find some young ladies who are playing on their high school football teams and try to go support them. We've done that in the past. Some of the players have been able to find out, or they, if they reached out to us or their parents reached out to us and say, hey, we had a young lady who used to play for Parkway North. Now she only played like freshman and JV. She never really got time, quality time in a varsity game or anything like that. But we had a group of, our players go out and support her, and cheer for her and have a sign for her and, take pictures with her and everything. So, it's all about women's sports. It's yes, we're the St. Louis Slam. Yes, we've won championships, but as you mentioned, our goal is bigger than that. It's, keeping this opportunity available for women, and young ladies who are turning into women who've always dreamed of playing football, knowing that there is an opportunity to do that. Even if you've never dreamed of playing football before, you just want to group of like-minded positive individuals and you think you might want to pop off and hit somebody, like here we are. But yeah, we're trying to get some planned things. We've got a couple of requests to do some school appearances to wave and speak to some kids. So but we are we're openly and actively approachable. If an organization or a group or a school or anything like that, they're interested in having us participate, absolutely can do some appearances there. Quickly, or I guess more the immediate future, we do have a women's or kids football camp. Oh, thanks, Tay. It's there in the chat. September 15th. We do have a camp for. It's focused on young ladies. I think it's kind of just open to the kids who want to come, but it's at Francis Howell Central High School, grades 3 through 12. But yeah, it's free. Kids don't have to pay. They just kind of come out. They'll meet us. Us being the Slam. We partner with another organization to put that camp on. And yeah, just trying to give back to the community, try to make ourselves visible. Try to let people know we exist and they can be a part of it, and keep this whole thing going.
When I did community appearances, I think people were always surprised by how tall I am in person. I just wanted to see the eye roll from Key. I'm very tall for my height.
Same.
Speaking of being in the community and being visible, I guess my last question in my last 5 minutes with Key and Tamikka is, did you have Key, you've been with the team for, was it 15 years now that you've been with the Slam? Is that right?
This was year 13.
Year 13. Did you ever think that you would be playing on ESPN? And what was that like to know that people could tune in to ESPN to watch you do what you love?
So yes and no. I started at a point of the league where streaming really wasn't that big of a thing, right? So, the championship itself was something that you hopefully saw if you like were selected as an All-American and you decided to make the trek to go and play in the All-American game. And so once the league kind of jumped into, I believe, the divisions and did a little bit more of an intensive work in trying to go out there and publicize what awesome football is being played inside of the league. There was that partnership with ESPN, and I think around that time we were still in Division Two, and so in my brain, and I have a brain that is heavily formed by Coach Q. In my brain, I thought it was cool that women in our league were getting the opportunity to play on ESPN. But at the end of the day, I was really more focused on the training that I was able to participate in to get to the best version of myself so that I could, be a part of a large team win. And so for me, like, so much of the joy in football, and luckily for my career, has been playing with the Slam. And that has made things like playing on ESPN, like, although it's cool. And I remember when it kind of first popped up in the league, being like, oh man, wow, okay, league. But as far as like now having our own ESPN highlights, like, I don't think that it actually hit me. And it's mostly because like my brain is locked up in the practice field. It's exactly what Q said. Like, what's going on with the next 6 seconds? I'm real focused on, what the next regimen is for the next level of football, the next, the next. And so again, like the ESPN thing, all cool and fine. I think the progression and the development and the maturity of the league has been one of the biggest keys, right? The more competitive football we're able to play, the more fans and folks will be interested. And so, that I think has been the core of everything. And then, the ESPN situation being more of a cool, symptomatic, crowning moment, I guess. I'm sure that I'll think it's cooler when I'm grayer, older and grayer, but right now it's it's easier to think about it as a distraction to practice.
We talked about lots of the players and coaches being parents, so maybe it'll sink in when like Lil 7 and all the other kids get to watch a 30 for 30 on the St. Louis Slam and their championship dynasties. So thank you all
if it's
for
not
joining us.
if it's not on a practice night, sure.
Well, thank you all for joining us. Again, if you've heard the players talk about it, you've heard the coaches talk about it, like, just come out there. When Q says we'll teach you football, if you know nothing, but you are a willing participant, you're willing to work hard, it's a quick education. It's a university level education and how to play your position and how to play your position well. So if anything about the organization and the team interested you, tell your friends who weren't watching tonight, share their social media pages, sign up for tryouts, go join the camps, meet them in person on the 15th. Find other ways that you can support the organization. If you're just like, my knees don't work the way they used to, the warranty went out on my back, but I still want to support the team. Again, it's a nonprofit organization, so they're looking for volunteers to do media, help set up different events, help fundraise, communications, all of those things. So there's no reason why you shouldn't be a part of this team if you're in St. Louis or in the St. Louis area, or even across the country in Florida like I am. You can still find a way to support. So thank you, champs, the 2024 national champions of the Women's Football Lions, your St. Louis Slam.
Woo woo! Congratulations, you all.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. This was fun.
Great. Well, don't be a stranger. Feel free to tune in any other time. And for all your fans and players and coaches out there, thank you all for tuning in to the Platform Sports Talk Show. We appreciate you all. I know Key and Coach Q have to leave, but Tamikka, I got a couple more topics we want to run through. You can chime on in with us.
This should be good.
I mean, I got a time. I got a little time.
I'm gonna have to log back on later.
All right.
Come on. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Key.
You're welcome. Take care. Thanks.
You too. Oh, great interview, Annie. Great job. Thank you for leading that interview. Jobo, great job as well introducing them. So us ladies, you know how we are. We run it. We make things run. They don't give us enough credit sometimes, but again, piggybacking off the Olympics, you know, the women's teams and the women athletes brought in more goals than the men. So you know how us ladies do it. Okay, so this is my imaginary cup, but we're gonna do a little segment to make us call "What's in Your Cup." This is just about a sports topic that has your attention right now. So, Jobo, if you don't mind leading it off, what's in your cup, honey, besides beer?
Yeah, besides the brewskis. Only because we don't talk a lot of hockey on the show. It's a sad topic, but Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew, they were hit by a drunk driver this past weekend, and we lost Johnny Hockey and his brother. They're only 31 and 29, and it's a hockey superstar right there, and it just sucks. So that's something I've been seeing all over social media. I couldn't believe I woke up on Friday morning to my husband telling me, and just been thinking about it a lot since. I went with that because I usually do something baseball related. So, but yeah, so that's in my cup. It's been all over social media lately, and still sad about it. And so this hockey season will be interesting.
I gotcha. And that was such a tragic situation, especially because they were in town for their sister's wedding.
Yeah, it's devastating. It's sad.
Stupid drunk driver. Okay. Well, Miss Tamikka, you can pick it on up. What is in your cup, honey?
What is in my cup? I gotta go WNBA. It's like two things. It's like the Aces and them kind of like trying to get back on track. Because I just love them. Like I love them as basketball players, hoopers, but like watching their social media and their TikTok stuff and seeing their personalities and everything outside they're just fun. They remind me of the Slam. Like we act stupid, silly, but then like we get after it too. So like that's in there. But then also like the Rookie of the Year race, Caitlin Clark, or formerly known as the Bayou Barbie, Chi-Town Barbie now. So who's gonna get that? That's just WNBA period right now.
Okay. And don't worry, we're going to bring them back up again shortly. Talk about the playoffs coming up with WNBA. Miss Annie, what is in your cup, honey?
All right. So literally, I've got the cool blue Gatorade. I'm always drinking Gatorade. It's been a long day. In terms of my sports cup, so I had a friend talk me into playing, GMing. It's gotten so serious, but a fantasy football team this year, and I haven't done fantasy football since 2015 maybe. I don't know. And it's just like, why is it this serious? Like,
And
it's like
you don't even know, dude.
I wasn't ready. It's like you're on the clock. And I'm like, yeah, I'm literally on the clock. Like I'm at work. Like I don't know who's been drafted. Then I got to read through some emails, and the commissioners like texting me like, are you going to get a pick in? Or do you want me to drop your second kicker before we open the waiver? I don't know, and I don't care. Like do. He was like, you still got to drop this many roster slots. You can put this many people in. There's a code to unlock the injury reserves or whatever. I said, do what you got to do. He said, the deadline is 8 p.m. I said, whatever you do by 8 p.m. is what my team going to look like. I'm done. So he dropped some kicker from my team. So I hope it's looking like something. But I'm not gonna look until tomorrow, like right before kickoff happens. But I'm so excited for football. I'm so excited for baseball. The Pirates are gonna win the World Series. As always, they've been looking so good when they do. And
I've heard of
so
them.
so yeah, like we won like a game yesterday. I think we won one a couple days ago. So it's looking up. We up. Okay. The Pirates are gonna win the World Series.
They won the Paul Skeens game. That's predicted. Okay, but they did go on like a 10-game losing streak.
That was why you bringing up old stuff?
She said it's current stuff too, though, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
No, but they won recently, so the streak happened, and then we pivoted, right?
Well, there's
Tamikka says it counts as current stuff. Tamikka's facial expression says, "Yeah, ma'am, that they're still."
Well,
I don't know.
Very present right now. Something's happening to the Pirates. Very present. I don't want to say it because it's bad, but something's happening to the Pirates at Wrigley Field right now.
It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, the Pirates will be holding the Stanley Cup, and that's all I really care.
What is in your
Oh,
your
Look, y'all, she got more than Gatorade in that bottle. She done spiked the Gatorade.
It might low key be hypnotic, but don't tell nobody. No, the World Series. There we go.
Wrong, girl, Eddie. You said it's a
Look,
long
they
game.
probably got about as much of a chance of winning the Stanley Cup as they do the World Series, to be honest with you. But I'm not here to be a fan to be honest. I'm here to be a fan to be fanatical. And so I can't wait to break up my Pirates gear.
Hey, bless your heart, baby. I'm going to just blame it because you did say it was a long day. Because, honey, I'm like, wait, what we talking about? The crossover.
That was funny. I'm going to need that clip on social, Smooth. All right.
Hilarious.
Bunny, what's in your cup?
What's in my cup? I don't know. Besides getting ready for pigskin season, but not NFL, college. I'm actually I'm actually curious to see how this whole revamped Pac-12 list conference is with those teams going to the Big Ten and to the little bit of Big 12, I think. And with Mizzou having a lax schedule to me, see if they can take advantage and do what they should do to be playing in the playoffs. So that is in my cup. Can you post that message one more time? Smooth. You see that, Annie? You see that?
Look, all it says is cool blue. It didn't say what was cool. It didn't say what was blue. It's just cool blue. Is in my cup.
I said I knew something else in that Gatorade, baby. It's like, okay. The spiked edition. All right, so we can pivot for what I just said regarding the college football. We got quick predictions. Tamikka, do you follow D1 college football? Yay, nay?
I mean, I'm watching football, period. My team is Navy, which, hey, they
how did that come
they have nice uniforms, so that's good.
I think you're gonna tell me like you had a family member used to play for Navy or something. You said the uniforms, okay?
No, I was in the Navy, so that's like my team. My dad was in the Navy and the Army, so he's like, I never lose the Army Navy game. I'm like, all right.
You can enlisted both branches of the military.
Yeah, my dad went to, not the same time. My dad was fresh out of high school, I believe, and went to the Army, did his service there, and then got out and then went to the Navy and ended up retiring Navy. So he's always bragging like, I'm undefeated in the Army Navy game, and I'm like, okay, Dad.
I haven't met anybody else like that. That doesn't happen often. Okay,
that's such like a dad joke. Such a dad joke.
I was like, good one, Dad. He's like, you're 75 years old. Like,
that's
you've been there for a lot of things.
Oh, Luther said Duke might beat FSU this year.
Duke.
I mean, FSU,
Oh, yeah.
they got to, man, maybe it not be upset because, I mean, FSU, they're still in the ACC, right?
Yeah, but how you gonna say we're too good to be in the ACC and then lose the first two games to Georgia Tech and Boston College? So
Yeah, they
FSU is
done.
reaping what they yeah, they're not even with a 12-team playoff, they're not going. They fell for the okie doke with DJ Ulungale. He wasn't great at Clemson. Nothing about Florida State's depleted roster was going to be set up for him anyway. They lost so much on both sides of the ball to the draft. So it looks like it's time for my Tar Heels to win the college football playoff
The
championship.
Stanley Cup, baby. The
Stanley Cup. The Tar Heels are winning the Stanley Cup. You heard it here first.
Yeah, stick with it, please. Bless your heart, Eddie. You ain't gonna let this one die, okay? Because that, and she said it so confidently too, y'all. Like you cannot tell her they weren't gonna do that. Like, wait, what?
And still can't. The Pirates are gonna win the Stanley Cup. I said what I said.
Okay. I'll let you be great with your Stanley Cup predictions with the baseball team. Okay, I'll let you be great. And your Gatorade that spiked. Jobo, you have anybody that you see college football that's gonna take it all the way?
I don't follow much college football. I'm just excited about Mizzou. You know, everyone knows they have a kind of weak schedule, so yeah, you know, they won their first game last. Tar Heels versus college football Stanley Cup.
I like that, Ed. Good answer.
But no, I mean they had an easy win last week or 2 weeks ago. I think it was last week, and yeah, Luther Burden, he's a stud, and I don't know, it's just they're fun to watch, and so easy schedule, hopefully lots of easy wins, and hopefully a lot of national media attention.
That's what it's all about. Yes, ma'am. Oh, let's see.
Do y'all think it was rude for the NCAA to tell, was it Oklahoma State who was going to wear the QR codes on the back of their helmets? And then before opening day, the NCAA said that they couldn't do that?
Well, you know how I feel about NCAA. That cartel.
Mind your business. If I want to put a QR code on my helmet.
It's just because they didn't think of it and they didn't get any of that money. Because it's, you know, the NCAA is a cartel. I've been saying it. The cartel is finally crumbling down. They're talking about the school set for NIL deals, and it's like, no. When I read about it, I was like, that's BS. But okay. I mean, what difference does it make? If we can really throw money out to anybody, any player, any team, there's no guidelines on that right now, then what's the problem?
Low key, I might just put a QR code on like a hat and just like walk around in public with that and just be like, look, if you ever want to throw me some dollars, I ain't gonna stop you.
Tamikka, the Slam, try that. Our producer just put ours up for the Platform Sports Talk Show. His DJ services. Our producer's on. He's like, I throw my DJ services, my T-shirt services, scan the QR code. He said it's not a cane.
Yeah, I would put that. Yeah, I would put a QR. I would put it on my car, but I drive an Ultima, so I'll be going really fast. So they ain't gonna be able to see it.
When you stop at a signal light, they catch you then. That or stuck in traffic.
Oh, what?
Signal light.
Oh, that's what those are for stopping? Oh,
girl, you been in St. Louis too long now. Wait a minute. Damn, St. Louis people get on my nerve with that. Oh, good. Whole other topic for another day. We'll be here all night. That's no stop sign. Let's not even go there. Please get my blood pressure raised. Oh, no. And then y'all treat Highway 70 like it's a NASCAR raceway. Girl, don't get me started. Woo.
Look, I was raised on Talladega Nights. Y'all seen that, Ricky Bobby?
I always put the disclaimer. I'm not a NASCAR driver, but I do like to get places. I do. But I still do it safely, though. I'm not reckless, and I think of other drivers out there, okay?
I use my blinker.
That's good.
I do.
I think the St. Louisans are just rushing home to their bathrooms after eating emos. And so
Oh,
I
Mark.
think that's what all the fast moving traffic is on the
Girl,
roadway.
if that ain't two lies, if that ain't two lies, if that ain't two emos is closed 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, and they still doing it. Emos is not open at 7 a.m. and I'm trying to get to work and they still doing it. It don't matter the time of day. It has nothing to do with the emos. It's just reckless, stupid driving. And specifically the main culprit is Highway 70. God, I swear, man. Let me get my blood pressure down. Whew, okay.
Yes,
Anyway.
woosah. You need a common sports topic.
Because every time I have to go across the bridge, I'm like, oh, I gotta change how I think and how I drive. It never fails. Crazy. Anyway, but yeah, about those Pirates winning that Stanley Cup. What we were talking about. Well, we can pivot from the college ranks to the NFL. Tamikka, do you have a favorite NFL team?
I just go for where I'm at. Like honestly, I like players, and I always go off like their outside football stuff. Like I love Marshawn Lynch and just how he was, and like on and off the field. Like that dude loved him. He in a little bit of trouble right now, but he gonna get out of there. But anyway, I think I'm sure he got into a physical altercation. Who was trying to get an altercation with his ass? I don't know, but I think he got in trouble for it.
Lord have mercy.
But I like the Chiefs. I like to go for, I like the Chiefs. I'm not a fan of Taylor Swift, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie.
The Swifties are coming out. That ain't me, so I ain't coming
I
after
don't care.
you. So have at it, honey.
It's fine. It's the Queen's birthday.
Oh,
so
it is
y'all
the
can come after me if you want.
celebrating her birthday. Okay, Queen Bee, that's great.
But no, I like the Chiefs, but I really just like players like what's it dude? Kittles. Love Kittles. He's a damn fool. Like I just like players and I just like football. So
Okay. Producer, somebody was talking about Tamikka's driving or they drive just like her. She said if you're not first, you're last. Am I correct? Was that Luther that said that? If you're not first, you're last. Come on now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Luther, that's not always the case. Sir. We still want to be safe if we're going to be first. Okay. Don't be reckless trying to be first. And all that speed and distance end up at the center light with somebody that you sped past. Come on now. But here nor there. Who else said Ravens? Somebody said the Ravens. Ashlyn, she said go Ravens. I was Team Ravens last year too with my boy Lamar, and they starting off the NFL season this Thursday night, y'all. Chiefs against the Ravens. Hey, Lamar better show up without any injuries. He better show up and show out and beat the Chiefs, not just Thursday, but when it comes to the conference championship. I think that's who we're gonna meet. Yeah. AFC North, AFC West, Ravens, Chiefs. Now, the $1 million question is, do y'all see the Chiefs doing a repeat? Doom, doom, doom.
It's a tough one.
Danny, Chiefs doing a repeat? No, yeah.
Well, of course not, because the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl. So
Steelers, we'd be like, okay, you may got something there because the Steelers are going to start Wilson, right? They're gonna start.
Yeah, I don't know what about that sentence gives you confidence.
I'm just saying anything of the Cowboys. That's why I said you just said the Steelers like you're a Pittsburgh Pirates fan. I would have taken it, but anything over the Cowboys because you know they set you up a failure every year.
I don't know. So this is our year, and the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl, and so I mean we might face the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, so I could see the Chiefs getting back for a third year, but no, we'll handle business this year. So
Jen says the Chiefs will three-peat. Luke, do you want to see what the Chargers gonna do? Why? Because Harbaugh taking over at the reins. Well, I wonder why you think the Chargers, like what you want to see from them. Just curious, but
you got to see something out of Herbert. I can't keep having conversations with people about Herbert being a top 5 quarterback and not doing nothing. Like it's not top 5 best quarterback tools. It's like who's actually done stuff. But last time Harbaugh coached in the league his first year in, the 49ers almost, well, they definitely went to the playoffs, but they like almost made it to the championship game. So he has a history of like coming in and turning teams around immediately for what it's worth. So yeah. What is this about the Pirates have been no hit by the Cubs?
That's what I was talking about. I couldn't say it because you're not supposed to say it.
Look, here, it doesn't matter what's happening tonight. Were you listening to my coach? My coach said, I don't care about the bad plays. You can't be perfect for all of them. But what you can do is focus on the fact that the Pirates are going to win the Stanley Cup.
Oh my gosh! Now they're winning the Lombardi Trophy.
They're winning everything. Okay, the Pirates are magnificent. They're number one in my heart. I'm calling it now. The Pirates are going to win the Grammys.
So, damn, Ashley, tell me how you really feel.
I didn't even get to read the whole damn thing. Where'd it go? Let me go back.
I gotta come back. I'm gonna pivot real quick from NFL, y'all, because Tamikka gotta go. Let me just touch on WNBA real quick with her predictions. We got the playoffs starting shortly, Tamikka. So who you see from the two conferences? Who you see being the WNBA champions, ma'am?
I need the Aces to come on. I need them to come on. I love them so much. I love the hometown. Well, not hometown, but she close enough. Kate Martin. I used to not like her, and she just needed some seasoning. That's what it was. She got out of it. She just needed a little bit of seasoning, and she got with the Aces. And I was like, you just needed that Lowry's, girl. And now you're doing the damn thing. She's back, and I just love the Aces. I just need them to come on, turn it back around, get it back on the right track, and go win another one.
I'm here for it. I'm a big Asia Wilson fan. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Sid, I love Sid. Kelsey Plum, call you, girl. No, but I love that. The whole squad, coaching staff, all the way to the players, the six men, everybody I just love the Aces, period.
Okay, so you think they get it together? Asia Wilson been running her plain white tee until they get that winning streak back. So
exactly. Me too. I'm wearing this is a Slam shirt, but I usually wear a plain white tee under my scrubs.
Okay. Solidarity with Asia because they're going to win and they're going to get it together in the playoffs right on time and go all the way. Okay, let's hope for the best, honey. I'm here for it.
I love the Aces, and I would love to say that they'll get it together in time, but the WNBA season goes by so quickly. If you're not clicking on all cylinders by now, it's really tough to see them taking down, like, the Liberty have really been clicking and playing well together. So you've got a lot of teams that are just making the right moves at the right time, and I just hope it's not too little too late for the Aces.
I got you.
And yes, the Pirates are getting an EGOT. Yes.
Yeah, the Fever started clicking now, and Connecticut Sun, they still always been around. Yeah, we'll see. Now, if it's funny, as the Indiana Fever started getting their streaks and started winning, Chicago Sky has been like, they kind of like flip-flop. So I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's because of Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese thing or what, but I thought the Sky definitely would have had a winning record at least, but be a 500 team. They're not there, but we shall see. We shall see. Yeah, Miss Tamikka, it's been so much fun having you. I have another not special guest, one of our regular panelists that is a basketball coach as well. So basketball is her life. None other than our own Coach Willis. Come on in, hon. So we got Coach Willis coming in. We got Tamikka leaving us. I want y'all to say hi to each other before.
I also have to tag out. It's 10 o'clock my time. And again, it's been a long day. So
with your spiked Gatorade, I understand, honey. Look, go Pirates to win the Stanley Cup. Yeah.
They're winning it all. You heard it here first. The Oscar for Best Picture goes to the Pirates.
Oh my gosh. Thanks, Annie's fun. Can't wait to see you.
Bye. Bye, Tamikka.
Bye, Tamikka. Have a good night. Thank you so much. And Coach Willis, you there? Yay, nay? If you're there, we can't hear you. Not said the Penguins winning the World Series in 6 games. From what Annie says, you're right. Anything with Pittsburgh in championship, any sport, cross it over because Annie's gonna believe it. I thought Coach Willis could hear us. Yay, nay? Leave us a note in the chat if you can hear us. I just want her to chime in on the week runnings before we wrap up. I got to. Well, good to the good old hood duties.
I was gonna say is with the NFL is why is everyone thinking that Stroud's just gonna be bad this year and the Texans won't be good? Like they got better in the off season. That's why I don't get. That's my team, Texans.
I like Stroud, but I think it's just maybe because of either haters or somebody in media had to have something bad to write about. They thought maybe another team in the division
like
got better.
Everyone everywhere though is saying that he's gonna have a down year and they're not good.
But you know what would be crazy? If this was his second year, then I could see that. This is not his second year. You know how they say a sophomore jinx? Like, listen,
it's a second industry.
Year. I thought this was his third year. This be his second year?
Yeah, it's a second year. But I just
that's not a sophomore jinx, like they do in the music industry. That's why they probably talking all that noise. People they probably thinking, but I don't think this is true. But you know, we got to see him play. But you know how the issues I had with Kyler Murray from the Arizona Cardinals 3 years ago. He didn't adjust his game when people, you know, once you get film on somebody after so long, you know what to expect. He didn't adjust his game, and we barely talk about him enough now, right? However, I think CJ Stroud got the right people around him. Even if people got the film and know how to read him, then he still should be pretty good. But the verdict will be out. But that could be the reason. They think it's sophomore jinx, and he may not know how to adjust. Coach Willis is working on connection. Well, last but not least, Coach Willis, can you hear us?
Yes. Can I hear?
All right. Welcome, ladies' night. It's been a while. How are you?
What's up?
Man, school year starting back up. I have more jobs. Like I'm on more committees this year. So it's been a busy one. Had a meeting tonight talking about basketball stuff. So week 3. We're only on week 3. So it's been busy. Couple late nights here and there. You know, basketball season hasn't started for me yet, but you know, it's getting there. Trying to get back in the swing of things.
Well, 3 weeks in and so many months to go. So buckle up, hang on for the ride. Let's get there. We're looking for a district and then a state championship out of Clayton High School women's basketball team. So we got to start somewhere. Let's go.
Yeah, we gotta have tryouts first. I didn't even think about. I'm not even thinking about that stuff just yet.
Are you still teaching elementary kids PE?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That's a
So
balance.
yeah, week 3. Like I said, I'm exhausted. I got to get back into just being around 5 to 11-year-olds, waking up every day, doing that for 7 hours, just having to get used to it again. So I go to bed pretty early.
Not tonight.
Man, I'm like,
it's your bedtime, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I usually try to lay it down by 9:30. I try to I like to get up a little bit early to go work out and stuff like that. Because at the end of the school day, I'm exhausted. Like I don't want to do anything, and I've been having meetings after school, so I've been staying after school late. So yeah,
okay,
it's kind of been the motto.
All right, we got under 30 minutes for your bedtime, so let's just get one topic in out of you, and we will wrap it up, which is the rerun this segment. Remember that? That's when you give us an idea of something you would change in a professional league.
I remember that. Oh, I gotta actually think about that.
I mean, I talked about a few of the league stuff I would change, but definitely we're talking about football season coming in right now. We already know how fake and phony the NFL is with this stupid what's the cash, not a cash, and all that crap. So definitely they could go back to the college rule. Just 1 foot in bounds and that's a catch instead of the 2 feet in and all that other crap. But
Yeah, no, I haven't heard about that. I feel like, yeah, NFL and college football, they're different rules for sure. Sometimes I even get it confused. I feel like I'm more comfortable like with the college rules. So when I do watch NFL, I'm like, my dad's like, no, Birdie, that's college level. I'm like, oh, okay, sorry. So, like, yeah. So, I'm trying to think. It's crazy because, like I said, since I've been in school, and being after school some nights, like I really haven't really turned my TV on. I would say the last sports thing I recall watching was the Chicago and Las Vegas WNBA game a couple weeks ago.
good. Well, we can talk about it, sure.
Yeah, I caught that. Started off strong. Started off strong. Um, and yeah, because before then I was like heavy into the Olympics, so there was that. Um, But yeah, no, I have not turned my TV on lately at all. But yeah, that was the last game, and I can't even like recall that game back. If that's how long it feels like it's been.
Obviously, I don't know anything about the WNBA, but Coach Willis, tell us real quick before me and Bunny we run this as well. Do you have like you said you haven't been watching much, but what's your thoughts on the WNBA season? Getting close to playoffs if it's not the playoffs. And who do you got winning it all?
Yeah, I would definitely say I like the attention that is being given to the WNBA. I think it is definitely.
Lose everyone.
Coach Willis, are you there? I'm here. Jobo, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Not sure what happened to Coach Willis. Well,
no.
I kind of reiterated already what my we run this as far as something I would change on the professional league. So you can give us yours, Jobo.
Mine is really just something simple, and it's been talked about before in Major League Baseball, but just shuffling the divisions in the league. Annie's beloved Pirates, I would say they're more so of an East Coast type of team, instead of an NL Central team. So I don't know. I know there's been a couple people out there that have mixed it up. Like, it's weird that the Astros used to be in the NL Central with the Cardinals when they were in the National League, but now they're in the AL West. So I don't know. Just mix it up a little bit. I think it'd be fun. Brittany's trying to get back on. But yeah, I don't know. I just think it'd be fun to see. Obviously, it doesn't matter as much right now that everyone plays everyone, but the Cardinals are still going to play the Cubs like 15 times. I can't remember how many times it is now. It's like 13 to 15 times. So
Hello?
I don't know. You there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Wait, I can't hear you guys now.
We can hear you.
But you all can hear me.
Yes.
Yep.
All right. So sorry, Coach Willis. Well,
she's about to go night anyways.
Yeah, I am too. I still got somebody in the background or bodies bouncing around in the background. So, well, it was been fun. I appreciate the St. Louis SLAM women's professional football team for coming on. Coach Q, Keyonna, Tamikka. I'm missing somebody. Oh, Annie. Yeah, of course, one of our ladies' night regulars. Yeah, so shout out to all the viewers, listeners, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Platform Sports Talk Show. And let me throw this out there. Next week, instead of the Wednesday night Sports Delight, it will be on a Taco Tuesday night. Platform Sports Talk Show will be on next Tuesday due to our producer Smoooth and Jamie celebrating their wedding anniversary. So again, so next week Tuesday instead of Wednesday. And real quickly, Miss Dub said it was fun to hear from the Slam players and coach. Yes, I appreciated it. Learned some things. You could tell the players appreciate Coach Q. But overall, great interview. And for any new viewers or listeners, please don't hesitate to come back next week on Taco Tuesday. Facebook, make sure you follow us on Facebook, Platform Sports Talk Show, also on IG, and of course, X, formerly known as Twitter, 314 Sports Talk Show. And of course, if you are on YouTube, if not, get on there. Go subscribe to the Platform Sports Talk Show. And when you subscribe, make sure you click on that bell, baby. Also, our Hot 365 radio family, whether you're listening online or via the app, we are always on there for you. And of course, this production is brought to you by none other than Smoooth with 3 O's. Again, thanks for watching. Appreciate all the love for everybody for the Slam sports team. And Jumbo, Coach Willis, you're there, signing us off. Tell everybody good night.
Peace.